Alright, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. We're going to be reviewing Season 2, Episode 2 of The Mandalorian. Let's do this. So this is really going to be a short review, unfortunately. So the positives on this one, it's got good production values, as always, it's got some reoccurring characters that are interesting to see again. Some humor, or attempts at humor, more creature feature stuff in the action. We get a couple of different showdowns in here on the ground and in the air this time. So the episode is a nice little draw away from everything going on in reality. It's worth a watch, but don't expect anything that matters in it, that matters to the rest of the season, other than, I guess, the passenger. But there are a ton of way better ways to go about whatever's supposed to become of that. So I'm just going to jump right into the negatives because, let's be honest, this episode feels way too filler unless some of these ingredients are going to tie in to the overall plot later in a way that propels us to the finish line or somehow comes around full circle. Like, maybe the New Republic pilots, the droid on the ship, the eggs, or the traveler, but none of it felt like it was at all important. It just felt like it was just crammed with conflict after conflict, but none of it felt natural, organic, warranted. 8 episodes in the season. You have 8 episodes. This episode did nothing to move the plot forward. I mean, sure, Boba Fett, the last episode did nothing to move the plot forward either, but Boba Fett, highlighting that, but that he's out there, he knows that Mando is out there, that's something. That's at least something. This episode, it felt like from start to finish, it just didn't matter. It's such a strange thing. 8 episodes, and so far it feels like we haven't really gotten anything, which is a shame. The show does have good production values and all that, and I'm really interested in the characters and the Star Wars universe as a whole, as what the Mandalorians do. I'm really interested in what this show's doing, but what it's doing so far this season feels pretty underwhelming. So, like, this episode, it's just another standalone episode, even though the approach to finding more Mandalorians, like, the approach this episode takes to finding more Mandalorians, it just feels so poorly thought out. Like, it's not thought out at all. He gets back to town, encounters a familiar face who is sitting at the table with someone who just happens to know someone who can find something as rare as Mandalorians in this day and age. And if he were referring to, like, Boba Fett or someone stationed on the same planet, okay, fine. Not a stretch. But nope, we gotta go off planet the slow way. Can't use hyperdrive. Baby Yoda keeps eating the passengers' babies, which is just weird. I mean, I just felt like that was weird. Where and then you encounter the New Republic pilots. You crash on this ice planet, and the frog lady, like, reminds the Mandalorians are supposed to have honor, but she then, like, just she, like, makes it a big deal about how important it is to save her eggs, her family line, reunite with her husband, all that. But she's just like, and she reminds him that he needs to keep his word and live up to the Mandalorian code of honor or whatever. But while he's out there fixing this thing, she just kind of wanders off without saying anything at all to him, which is weird. And it's just, I don't know, man. How just No, it was just, when it's all said and done, I question if the ship would really even be flyable as it drags ass through space like an old beat up pickup truck with hanging bumpers spewing sparks. But like none of this stuff mattered in here. The creatures and stuff looked cool. The action was pretty good, pretty awesome. Multiple things in here, like when he set off I think there was a Jawa with the jetpack, tricked him into like thinking he was getting a jetpack out of the deal and he was gonna escape, and then boom, he shoots him up in the air, and then there was the spider creatures, the big one, they looked pretty formidable and threatening. And so there were interesting things in here, but just like the reoccurring character, her and the Mando that kind of talked there and all that, none of that was too interesting to me. The fact that she like vouched for this person, like I would, on my life, I vouched that you can trust them or whatever, and then she doesn't really even know them or anything. And it's just everything in this episode just felt really unnecessary, really lackluster. You could have gone many different ways, and ultimately this episode actually contains nothing that kind of, they don't arrive at their destination or anything. He doesn't find out anything. They just get stuck on this ice planet for a bit, have to figure things out, and then move on. But from like the whole thing's filler. Nothing in here actually happened that served to propel anything forward. And there's only 8 episodes of the season, so I mean, it's a good episode. It's an enjoyable episode. Obviously it's likable to an extent or a degree. It's like if you were to, I'd rate it a 6 out of 10 or maybe a 5 out of 10. It's just average. It is likable and enjoyable, but it does nothing to service the rest of the season. It feels pretty pointless. So let me know your thoughts, opinions, comment down below. This isn't even the usual format I do on videos. I'm just like, this isn't good enough. There's nothing of substance in here to really talk about, to really make a stronger video out of or anything. This episode is just what it is, just like this video. I just throw it out there. It's just what? So 5 out of 10. Let me know if you guys actually enjoyed this episode more than me, because I didn't really enjoy it because it just doesn't have substance to the rest of the season. Sure, if that stuff with the passenger really pays off once she reaches her destination, but no matter how you look at it, this episode was an actual waste of time, because you could have just had him just fly her to the destination and there you go, you start moving forward. But this whole thing was filler. Anyways, stay awesome. Don't forget to comment down below. Rock on.